Bonfire is lit, but it is hot enough, both here in Manitoba and in Southern Ontario, where the Bombers take on the Toronto Argonauts Saturday night. Welcome inside GameDay Winnipeg, your live pregame show here on Bonfire Sports. Two teams kind of, I don't know, maybe headed in the opposite direction right now of one another. The Argos have been playing better, sit at 1-5. The Blue Bombers, after a 3-0 start, have dropped 2 straight, albeit to maybe the best team in the CFL, the Calgary Stampeders. They lost last night after losing Vernon Adams Jr., their quarterback, late in the game. But Chris Walby, the Hall of Famer, the legend, your thoughts on the state of the Blue Bombers right now? Is this a hiccup, or is this a time for concern after 2 straight losses, handily, might I add, at the hands of the Stamps?
I don't know if it's a time for panic right now, but I'll tell you this. Toronto is not as bad as everybody thinks either. I mean, they should have won the game 2 weeks prior against Montreal. But again, turnovers kill you, right? Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about the Bombers, 10 turnovers against Calgary in 2 games. 3 touchdowns returned for, off interceptions. You're not going to win many games with that kind of turnovers and that kind of, big mistakes. Then you look at Marquise Bridges, who, God bless the guy, stood up, answered questions, didn't try and hide the fact. He got burned on Mario Alford as a big touchdown. He thought it was something else, so he let the guy go behind him. Total mistake. Should always stay with the receiver, but that's, neither here, there, or now. It doesn't matter anymore, right? I think the biggest thing right now is the Bombers have to have a good show in Toronto. Toronto's won 3 of the last 4 games against the Bombers, including the Grey Cup. It's a different team, both Bombers and Toronto. Toronto lost all the guys. I believe they lost like 7 or 8 starters. So, I think it'll be interesting. There's no Chad Kelly. It's Nick 𝙎𝙥𝙤𝙧𝙯. But everybody goes, Nick 𝙎𝙎𝙧𝙯, it should be a walk. But remember this, Nick 𝙎𝙎𝙧𝙯's the one who won the Grey Cup for him. So
yeah,
don't get crazy on that stat. So
𝙎𝙎𝙧𝙯 has not played particularly well this season. And like you said, Chris, last week for the Bombers was last week. Last season for the Bombers was last season. We're going to hear from defensive coordinator Jordan Younger in just a second. He talked about that coverage bust by Marquise Bridges, communication in particular on the back end of the Blue Bombers defense, how he's going to approach this Argonauts offensive attack. We'll also hear from offensive coordinator Jason Hogan in an offense that, with COLLAROS, without COLLAROS, has looked good, has looked poor in both circumstances. They haven't utilized the reigning CFL MOP Brady Oliveira very much. He'll talk about that, and we'll also hear from Zach COLLAROS himself in just a second, because the hit he took last week was hellacious. He spoke specifically of that hit, lingering effects of it. Yeah. But there he was, Chris, day 1 of practice. He was good to go. Zach COLLAROS will start for the Bombers this week.
That's huge. It's a huge thing. Nothing against Chris Streveler, but I think you got to have the guy that's, 100%. Taking him to the cup a number of times to play, behind center. I like what Zach brings. I know there's a lot of guys that are saying Zach's getting old. He's kind of crusty. We got to put him in the past here, but I'm one of the guys that still believes Zach's one of the best in the league, and I think he's going to get it done. But having said that, they got to utilize all the tools in the toolbox. And you mentioned one already, in Brady Oliveira, who after these many games still has not scored a touchdown. It's amazing when I looked at that stat today, just to kind of make some on my depth chart.
I think that happened last year too, right?
He had a slow start last year, but not after this many games. Matthew Peterson is still leading the team in rushing, and he hasn't played for a number of weeks. They've got to stay with Brady, and they've got to use him and use him often, and stop going away from him. Did you see, I watched that kid from Calgary, 26, Mills. Yep. That kid, what a great game he had. What a horse. That's the epitome of what you want a running back to do when they make contact and he just keeps his legs charmed. And that's exactly what Brady can do. But you can't give him the ball and then stop giving him the ball. He's a guy, like most running backs will tell you, gets better with the more carries he has. And so I think that the Bombers, if they're smart, Hogan, the offensive coordinator, feed number 20, allow that offensive line, even though they're missing Stanley Bryant for the second game, to play a little bully ball. Because Toronto is not that great against the run. So you got opportunity here now to redeem yourself and get back in that win column, which they desperately need. The West Conference, it's crazy. It's packing up, buddy. It's packing up.
Yeah. No doubt. But, Brady Oliveira, utilizing him more. It was interesting to hear Jason Hogan this week talk about, we attack the way we feel we need to attack, and mentioned that trailing in those games against Calgary. I mean, they were trailing from start to finish in the Stampede Bowl as the Stamps scored on their opening drive. This was a close football game, despite 2 interceptions from Zach Collaros. It was a 4-point ball game when he went down to injury, as we just saw. But the offense, I don't know if it's just we need more Brady Oliveira for it to be the reason they're struggling, right? Let's look, the injury to Zach Collaros had a lot of people wondering, is he going to play again? Is he going to play again this year? Is he going to play again in his career? No worse for wear.
Yeah, you think about
Let's hear from the man himself. Here is Zach Collaros earlier today in Toronto.
As we stand here today, how do you feel?
Feel good, excited to play tomorrow. Feels like it's going to be a hot one, so feels like summer football in the CFL.
Physically, from when you left the Calgary game to today, is it substantial improvement? You talked about it being precautionary, I think perhaps was the word.
Yeah, I feel much better as the week has gone on. Obviously, took a good shot there and had some lingering effects, but from that day to now, I feel the same as I did going into that game. Yeah.
Do you have any lingering memories of playing Toronto in 2024? Anything that stands out to you now, or is it all forgotten?
When you watch the tape, they do some similar things. Obviously, Shivers is there, so they've mixed a little bit up of what they do. But they were a good football team last year. Obviously, they won the whole thing. And, again, just watching more tape on the flight here, they have a good defense, so it's going to be a challenge for us.
Zach, I asked you at the beginning of the week, and I'll just take another crack at it now. Does anything from the Grey Cup, do you let anything creep into your mind this week at all?
The only things that probably creep into my mind are just some of the looks that seem similar. Whether it's the way they play some of their 3-down fronts or what they do with their backers from the standpoint of, shading to the running back, that kind of stuff. Those memories kind of come back from game planning that week and trying to take advantage of some things and whatnot. But it's just the CFL's, most of the time there's a lot of turnover, right? So there's been a lot of turnover on that defense. Not too many things have fled, back into my memory. I'll think about that game forever, as we always talk about, but not this week.
Could you just talk about Brady? Brady's harped on it all week, really. Anytime I've talked to him is about the importance of a fast start, and I know that's always important, but could you just talk about maybe the effect that can have on the rest of the offense or the rest of the team is being able to start fast here?
Yeah, you want to be efficient, every opportunity you get, every play, right? And when you're efficient, it can, lend its hand to having a good start. I think that helps the entire team. Each and every piece of our team is looking to have a fast start, right? So I don't think that's abnormal, for Brady to say that. And again, it's what we aim to do every week. We aim to execute each play. That's why you draw them up and have rules for them and things like that. And and if everything goes well, usually you start well. So that's always the aim, is to execute.
That quick start is going to be critical for the Bombers in Toronto on Saturday night. Talked about Brady Oliveira, talked about his health, some of those lingering effects, Chris, right? It'll be interesting to see Collaros, not just in this game, but the rest of the year, and the type of punishment he takes in the pocket. I'll say this definitively, and I don't know if you agree or not. You are definitely the expert when it comes to the offensive line and protection of a quarterback. I don't believe the level of offensive line play fell off in really any significant way with Stanley Bryant being out of the lineup last week. He will be out of the lineup again this week. I think the team likes what they have in Micah Vanterpool at left tackle.
Well, he's going to be the future. There's no doubt about it, right? Stanley's 39. He's played 15 years. He's a future Hall of Famer, first round. He's probably going to go up in the Ring of Honor as well. Mm-hmm. He's just that good. Yeah, I like what Vanderpool has done for him. He's been very consistent there. You got Liam Dobson beside him. Or, sorry, I was talking about last year. Hey, Gabe Wallace, sorry.
Yeah.
Screw Liam. Liam, you traitor. Going to Hamilton, you bugger. Anyway, I like Gabe Wallace. But these guys, I don't think they miss a beat. I think they just have to be a little bit more physical. And, again, like I said, I'm going to reiterate myself and say this. They have to run the football. And Brady can't just carry the ball 10 times. He needs to carry the ball. Now, a running back will always tell you. I remember Willard Reed used to tell me, 20 plus, and I'm good. And I think he needs to carry the ball at least that.
20 touches.
When I watch it, I don't care if it's out of the backfield, talking about passing. Because, I mean, last year I know he led the team in yards after catch. I still remember him catching that pass across the middle, breaking 4 tackles against Edmonton and going in for the touchdown. He is a double threat. You got to utilize him both ways. So I'd like to see Brady touch the ball, whether it's running or catching it, a lot more than he has in the past.
Yeah. One of the things I think is important to keep in mind is that the offenses in the CFL have probably performed overall better than the defenses across the CFL through the first, 7 weeks of the season. That said, can there be, Chris, in your opinion, can things kind of straighten out? Can defenses catch up to where the offenses are? No doubt, Winnipeg's defense looked very good early in the season, but definitely have been struggling as of late. Is that a Vernon Adams thing? Is that a Calgary thing? Or is that a trend you think could bleed into this back home and home against the Argos this week and next week?
Well, you guys got, you're talking about guys like DeMonte Coxey. They've got some Unger. You got DeVaris Daniels. You got some good receivers in Toronto. The Bombers have been guilty of allowing a lot of explosion plays. And, I mean, against Calgary was a number, I think they had 3 last week. They had a bunch the first game and the first meeting against Calgary. I mean, you got to be smart. You got to play and stay with the rules. Don't try and think what it is. Just do what it is. Don't gamble. They're reading the backfield. They're taking a think it might go a short pass to the outs, and then the guy runs by you. Much in the case of Marquise, right? I mean, Marquise Bridges got just burned because he thought something was going to happen. He was going to come up on a play, and then he let Alford go behind him. You can't do that. I mean, these are one things that just say, stay, do your job, and that's all we're asking you to do. Don't try and do 2 jobs. Do your job, and things usually work out.
What I found interesting in looking at the numbers this week, Chris, and some of the game notes is that the Bombers and the Argos both struggle against the pass rush. They are amongst the worst in the CFL in sacks allowed. Toronto, number 2 in the league in sacks for this season. They have done a great job getting to quarterbacks.
Yep.
But Winnipeg has not. Do they need to change up the 3-man pressures that they're bringing? Do they need to bring more to the line of scrimmage? Because it's been a lot of 3-man rush and not a lot of getting home for Willie Jefferson and James Vaughters and the front of
well,
the
think
defense.
about this. When they signed James Vaughters, out of Calgary, he's been in NFL, he's been all around. They thought they had the bookend for Willie Jefferson. They had a guy that was going to, create another bunch of pressure. But you look at him, Willie's with 1 sack. James Vaughters doesn't even have a sack yet. They've got 6 sacks on the season. I know that a lot of guys, and Coach O'Shea will tell you right now, I'm not into the sacks. Don't read into I'm more into the pressures. Pressures force, turnovers. They make mistakes. But having said that, Vaughters had 5 tackles last game against Calgary. He at least had a presence there. Mm-hmm. I think they've got to use Willie and these guys in different formations. I remember last year they lined Willie up as a linebacker. They had Willie up playing over the guard.
All different types of looks.
Yeah, they take advantage of maybe a weak spot in that offensive line. Now, you're looking at right now, listen, if Willie doesn't have a kick-ass game, there's something wrong. He's going against a guy named John Bosse. First start ever. He's a 2024 draft choice. First game he's playing. First start he's playing at right tackle. Come on. You think he's not, just shaking in the boots? He's going against 2 of the best? That's the opportunity. Now you got to exploit that opportunity. They're starting 4 Canadians on their O-line, which is a luxury if you can get away with it. And they have the opportunity to play another American, but remember, they lost their number 1 offensive lineman in a motor vehicle accident. He was driving a scooter, and he got hit, so he's out for 6 games. And I think he was the most outstanding offensive lineman in the league last year, if I'm not mistaken. So he's gone. So they put another guy in here. You got Vandal, you got Dockstader, you got Moore, Nicastro at center, Darius Siracco, who is playing Ottawa.
And Dockstader, a game-time decision, too.
Yeah, that's the thing that's crazy when you think about it. And again, they got two backups. And, I know they dressed Shane Richards just as a backup. He hasn't played a lot this year either.
Could end up starting.
This is something that you got to exploit. I mean, I don't think this is. I mean, if you watch the Calgary-Montreal game, Glenn Suter was waxing poetic over the right tackle for the Calgary Stampeders, who was in the second game. I like the fact they started talking about O-line. God bless them, Glenn, because now you're going where the meat and potatoes is, the D-line and the O-line. When you start showing that stuff, you get people interested. Nobody wants to see the quarterback every play. Nobody wants to see the receiver every play. We want to see what's going on in the down and dirty in the trenches. Mm-hmm. So I was really happy to see them do that yesterday. But, I mean, I still think that the Argos, 1-5, I don't believe they're a 1-5 team. I think they should have won the last game against Montreal. But, again, the turnover at the end of the game and allowed them to win.
Yeah.
They just – turnovers will kill you. And I know they're missing Chad Kelly, but I don't think Chad Kelly is the be-all, end-all. I think Nick Arbuckle has proven that in the Grey Cup last year when he was the most outstanding player in the Grey Cup. They won the Grey Cup. He can get it done, but he needs protection. Is he going to get protection? I got a feeling this is going to be like the Bombers haven't won their one game they've won in the last 4, counting the Grey Cup too. But this is where Jordan Younger's got to really develop some kind of a game plan to really come after. Arbuckle's not a guy against Toronto. Yeah, you got to go after him, man.
Yeah.
On nickel run, he's the second leading rusher on the team, which is not a good sign. I mean, did you realize that they ran the ball? They averaged 34 yards a game rushing. Are you kidding me? 34 yards? Come on, man. That tells me that unless they run the ball, usually a team has to take the run away to force the pass. Right now, if you look at all the cards right now, unless Toronto decides to change the playbook, and Ryan Dinwood, the offensive coordinator and head coach, decides to run that football more than he has been.
He may.
I mean, when I looked at that, I was blown away, buddy. If I look at the Toronto Argonauts, if I can interject,
if I look at how they approach week to week, and you even heard Winnipeg's offensive and defensive coordinators talk about it this week, that they plan well for their opponent. They do what they need to do against that opponent. They will change things up. So if they see a weakness in Winnipeg, they will attack it. Want to mention this quickly because I feel it's important. The CFL released their Week 7 fines just today, and Winnipeg defensive lineman Willie Jefferson fined for delivering a spear on Calgary wide receiver Tevin Jones. Look, just a dirty hit, right? I don't think Willie Jefferson is in any way, shape, or form a dirty player, but he did hit Tevin Jones illegally and has been fined on top of the 15-yard penalty that he took as well. No fine for the hit Zach COLLAROS took that knocked him out of the game. I was having back and forths with fans all week, Chris. They were very upset with me in calling that a clean hit and an on-time hit. But the league agrees. That was a clean hit and on time.
I know I'm not even going to be a homer on this one because when he hit him in the chest, he went back down, he hit his head on the turf going down.
Yep.
I mean, every time a quarterback hits his head, doesn't matter. I mean, you can't throw a flag every time. If it's helmet to helmet.
Well, you can if it's a penalty.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. If it's a forearm, if any kind of contact at the head is great. But if I hit him in the midsection and he unfortunately goes down and bangs his head on the turf, that's not a penalty. So I think it was a good call. I mean, I just think he just caught in the rumble. He went down. He left the game. And that's because it's a precaution. You always want to have that happen. And remember this, Strevler came in, led him all the way down the field. And obviously just an untimely interception at the goal line. If they would have got that touchdown, and I was surprised he threw the ball there, first off. Let me just say that. Why, when you get inside that red zone, you should have handed the ball to Brady and let him bang in there. Don't try and outthink the opponent. Don't try and outsmart him. Stay with works, right? Don't reinvent the wheel.
Well, and they were moving the ball so well at that point. Right?
I agree. They
moved the ball incredibly well on that drive. And that was a complete deflation of a little momentum that the Blue Bombers were able to take. I was looking for that. Oh, here it
Could have
is.
changed the whole outcome. Could have changed the whole outcome, DB, because of the fact that they would have took the lead there. And instead, they give Calgary a chance, and Calgary comes and works all the way down the field, and they score. So, I mean, it's a total smack in the face, right? What you should have done and what you could have done. And it's like, and it's easy for us, the armchair quarterbacks, to sit back and think what you should have done. Obviously, they called the play. They thought there was an opportunity. But, I mean, that was a great job by the Calgary defender to read it, because the fact that Strelder is rolling out to one side, he's cutting out half the field.
That's Adrian Green, who had another interception for Calgary last night.
And he got hurt, though. I hope he's okay, because, I mean, they lost a couple guys. They lost that Alford kid, who I think is playing outstanding with a hamstring as well. So,
but listen, Chris, this interception, there's 2 points of critique, okay? A lot of people, I would say most people, are looking at Chris Streveler saying he shouldn't throw that football. Others look at Kevin Sklercius and say, we need to come back to the football.
Well, that is a great point. Great point.
He wanted the touchdown, right? He's sitting in the end zone there.
Well, that's the thing. You can't sit. They're always taught as a receiver to work your way back, especially when your quarterback is scrambling.
Oh, especially when he's scrambling against his body, right? Yeah. This is not an easy throw. This is an incredibly difficult throw. One that a lot of coaches would say you shouldn't be throwing. That's
a crossbody throw, yeah. And if it wasn't there, then he should have thrown it away, right? Take 3. Worst case scenario, take 3. But, ifs and buts and candies and nuts. I mean, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. So, I mean, it's easy to say what we could have done, right? I don't know if that's the thing.
It's a Chris Walbyism. That's what it is.
I remember doing the CBC, and I guess I had a couple words, and I used to say frustrate instead of frustrate. And every time I said it, they'd have to drink. So I got a lot of people drunk in Canada. So, yeah, Walbyisms, they're always there, man.
That's why we come for it here on GameDay Winnipeg and the Blue Bombers live pregame show here on Bonfire Sports. WST Raid, what's going on? Everybody joining us from WST, welcome. Thanks for joining us here on Bonfire Sports. You can find us on all our socials at Bonfire WPG, live pregame, as we always do right here with the legend Chris Walby, live postgame with my good friend Schnitzy, Zach Schnitzer, live after every Bombers game. There he is, Schnitzy saying, hey, friends. New York Schnitzy, that's right. Still not in New York, but making his way back following a wedding there, which is why he couldn't take in the post game last week. Chris, I want to play Jordan Younger. I know we've kind of been jumping. You know what? Yeah, let's play Jordan Younger. Jumping between the offense and the defense here, but I want people to hear from Winnipeg's defensive coordinator, the state of the defense and where they're at right now, which has not been good the last 2 weeks.
Maybe this is a basic question, but so much of the discussion in the last little while has been about communication. But on offense, they get in the huddle and they call a play and then they go out and run the play. So much of what you guys do happens after they've broken the huddle. Maybe you could talk about, you've got a little window there to communicate what you see and how to react to it.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess there's 2 main philosophies, right? You go out there, you call a defense, and you just run it no matter what the offense does. I think that puts, my philosophy is that puts you at a disadvantage, play calling wise. You're not in position to defend what they're doing. The next one is to read and react to the formation you get and then make the best call based on that formation. Our breakdowns are not necessarily a matter of that. You know what I mean? We're seeing the formations the right way. We've got to see the route concepts the right way.
How long does it take you to kind of get that figured out, like on the fly, like you got a couple of seconds to kind of figure out what you need to do? I mean, it's lightning quick, right?
It's usually about, from the time they break the huddle, it's usually, if the offense is operating, at a normal pace, it's usually about 7 seconds that you have as a defender to get all of your information out, all of your communication done, and get lined up and ready to play. So it's not a long time.
Yeah, and and I guess in those brief seconds you have, there can be a lot of communication issues that happen in that time. Nothing's probably ever seamless.
And they may change the formation, right? They may motion and change the formation, so then we got to change it again. We're good at that, right? We're going through a little bit of a rough patch these last few games. I'm not concerned about it in the sense that the system has rules to take care of that. We just got to be sharper in understanding those rules.
Yeah,
So there's defensive coordinator Jordan Younger. essentially saying that he doesn't see a problem in the game that they're calling, the scheming, the game planning, the approach to their opponent. It's that it's their own mistakes. A lot of people will say that's kind of just what a football team will say. It's on us. We got to be better. We have to communicate, and communicate being a theme they talked about all week. But Chris, do you feel that Winnipeg is not playing the formational football, the game planning, the prep for their opponent that they need to? Or is it really on themselves? Marquise Bridges, Willie Jefferson, James, whomever, it's on those guys to just play better in this system.
Yeah, I think communication is huge, especially in that defensive backfield. I think, again, I reiterate what I said to you earlier in the show. You got to just do your job. Try not to do more than you have to do. And a lot of times people want to gamble on that. Like I can be like Marquise, who's got 2 interceptions. Yeah, he made a mistake, but he was, bones up. He admitted it and said, you know what, I should have stayed with the receiver. Shouldn't have gambled coming in. He thought it was going to be a flat route to a little out route, and he bid on it. And the guy went back, and you should never let a guy get behind you. That's one thing they always say. Now, whether you're anticipating the safety to come over and help you, it's just not going to happen, right? But the explosion plays have killed this team. And I remember years ago when Richie Hall was coaching, right? He said the one thing is we always want to do on defense is, prevent those big plays, those game-changing plays, the change of field position plays. And that's what's happening. Do I think they'll play better against Toronto? Absolutely. I think they're going to turn the tide. I think this is a perfect opportunity in the schedule to reinvent themselves and find out what it feels like to win again. I think they're a little demoralized. They've taken a bit of a beating the last 2 weeks there, DB.
Yeah.
Obviously on offense, throwing 10 interceptions or 10 turnovers. That's crazy when you think. I don't remember the team in the 5 years going to the Grey Cup ever having 2 weeks in a row with that many turnovers, -8 turnover ratio. You can't do that and expect to win football games. Now you're in Toronto, and it's a tough place to play. They're getting a good crowd, so hopefully they'll be all right. But this is time to check. As you got to check in now. Let's play. And I look for Willie to have a big game. I'm just going to say it right now. I think Willie and James are going to have a big game. Vaughters on the other side. I need to see some push up middle though. I need Jake Thomas to be and whether it's him or Cam Lawson.
Yeah, a lot of Cam Lawson.
I need these guys to be more physical in the middle and get those guys, make the quarterback turn, make the quarterback get away. Right now, you saw Vernon Adams. Yeah, he's a scamper. He gets around all the time. I mean, that's one thing he does super. I don't know if Nick does the same thing. I think Nick's a good passer, though. And I think, don't be fooled. I mean, Kevin Mytal, David Unger, they've got some receivers, buddy. I think right now they're a one-dimensional team. They pass. Will that change, DB? Well, we'll see tomorrow if the Argos and Ryan Dinwiddie decide to try and run the ball on the Bombers.
Here's a question.
If they don't,
sorry, go ahead.
Yep.
If they don't,
if they don't, I think it's gonna be a long game for them. I think the Bombers are ripe to win one. I really do. I know it sounds homerish, but
I just think that's why the lines moved so much, right?
Yeah.
2.5 point favorites earlier this week. They're now 5-point favorites. Winnipeg.
Yeah. And the thing, you're still missing Schoen. I agree. You got Cody Case who had a touchdown. Only got 2 catches on the year. Carrick Weefall kind of quiet last couple of weeks.
Well, 2 catches in the game. Played the one game.
But you got to – I guess the guy that I'm really you can't rely on Super Mario Sergio because, he is a beast. And that Mexican kicker from Montreal kicked a 58-yarder yesterday to win the game.
Maltos Diaz, and then he goes –
He always makes a muscle. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it, as
man.
people can see. I don't got him.
Yeah.
But great question here from Roy Shroud, who's watching on YouTube. What's up, Roy? Great to see everybody in the live chat. Question, says Roy, is the middle of the Blue Bombers offensive line overly susceptible to the bull rush? We saw it on the injury to Zach Collaros. Teams are doing twists, right? Explain what a twist is, Chris, and are the Blue Bombers, is the interior of that O-line susceptible to some of those stunts and a bull rush from opposing defenses?
I think that bull rush is one-on-one where they come line up and right against you. The twists are what causes a lot of trouble on the O-line because they're trying to get one O-lineman at a different depth than the other. And if they can pick the other guy, if I can bull rush the guard and push him into the center and I loop the nose tackle or the other tackle around, if the center can't get there, there's a guy coming through, right? So, I mean, twists are always the thing. They do TEs, which is tackle ends, ETs, end tackle, nose tackle. They do all these things, tackle, and they'll bring the middle linebacker. And I think that's where you see the pressure coming, right? You always try. It's not always about outmanning them. You'll hear the Bombers talk about time. We need to play our game, which is what? Number one, physical. Play physical. If you start getting pushed back, I mean, Zach's not like 6'7". You can't have a guy right in his face.
Right.
You saw the Montreal game yesterday. They got Oakfield there, 6'8", 6'9", whatever the guy is.
Oakman, yeah.
They knocked down 3 of Vernon's passes yesterday. That's what linemen are taught to do. If you can't get in, get your hands up.
Willie J.
But I think
knocking down.
Yeah, Willie, who's got a record for. I mean, he's always up there to pass knockdown. I think Willie's been very quiet. Whether they're double teaming him, whether he's not playing as well as he normally does, I think Willie's out for a breakout game. I said this early in the show, and I believe it. I really think Willie's going to have a stand-up game tomorrow.
I like that.
I just think it's going to be good. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I like Tony Jones. I like him in the middle. They got good guys, man. It's a good team.
Well, okay, they got good guys, but do they have a good system? Pat Rathwell, the1930crew.com. Go check them out. The1930crew on social media. I think there's like 10 seats left on the second bus. You got the Hus bus, right, WST with the Hustler. You got the Bonfire bus with DB. That's me. And Schnitzy. But Pat mentioning, certain QBs cannot be given time to survey the field. Vernon Adams, yes. Bo Levi for sure will pick you apart. Need pressure, says Pat Rathwell. Rushing 3 is not the solution. We do that a lot, especially on second down. I will add in this. Rushing 3 doesn't mean that that's all the pressure that you're getting. The reality is, like they call it coverage sacks, right? If you only rush 3, that means you got 9 guys in coverage. You got 5 on the O-line, and you got the 6 being the quarterback, maybe even 7 if you have a running back staying in protection. That leaves 5 receivers against 9 defensive backs and linebackers. You can find ways to pressure by getting coverage pressure, right? So what Jordan Younger is trying to do is make it impossible for a quarterback to find someone open, and then eventually 3-on-5 and a pass rush, someone will eventually get home. That's
okay. Here's the deal: 3-on-5. What to do? You need a guy in the center who's tough. Whoever's the toughest guy to go. If you're one tackle and they're going to go 3, usually the tackle in that guard, whatever way it is, will double team that guy. You got to hope your tackles can keep your ends out. The thing about this that hurts you, the more time you give the quarterback, the more time the quarterback has an opportunity adversely to look downfield.
Right.
And also, if they run the receivers off, buddy, you could take off with the football.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that time and time again.
Yeah.
I like the 3-man rush, but I like to bring a 4th somewhere. So they don't know where the 4th is coming. Don't line up in it. Just come from it. Whether it's Jones, Wilson, Cramdy, could be a halfback, could be Bridges, home. You got to fool them because that causes, the problems of communication at O-line, and that's what defeats an O-line. Because now you're thinking, okay, who is this guy coming? Or get Tony to walk up and drop back. Because Mike O'Shea did this all the time when we played. And I played against Mike O'Shea many times. He would line up and he'd come over the guard and listen to our calls because he had to make different calls.
Really?
Am I going solid protection? And my guard, are you taking that guy now? Because I got to take him. And if he drops, they usually bring the outside guy, which means that guard now has to take 2 steps out and try and get to the outside backer. It's a great game plan. It happens all the time. So, yeah, there's some advantage of a 3-man, but I like to mix the 3 with 1. because I don't like giving any quarterback too much time to throw the ball. Eventually, someone's going to come free. Or, as you say, eventually they might track him down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can Willie do that? Absolutely. Can James do that? Absolutely. Do I need more pressure in the middle? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's my 3. Get some pressure up the middle.
Well, that's your 3 keys?
No, my keys are different. My keys are, I love to sing. No, that's my other king. Okay.
Yeah.
I got an album coming out anyway.
Well, you're out in nature right now. You're out at the lake in parts unknown, as I like to refer to it. Getting the pregame.
Yeah, it's beautiful. 31 degrees out here.
Yeah. It's going to be a scorcher in Toronto tomorrow, too. I think it's going to be 34.
I hate that. I swear to God, nobody knows what it's like when you're playing, and the water comes off. Like Hamilton and Toronto were the worst. The wind comes off the lake and it's humid, and you're just doing pregame and you're stretching and you're like tired. You're like, oh shit, we haven't played the game yet, and I've already dropped 8 pounds. You know what I mean? I remember going to Hamilton. I dropped 10 pounds in one game, and we're not talking a ball movement. We're talking sweat. So just thought I'd correct that one.
Oh man. Well, look, every opponent is different, right? So what didn't work against Calgary may work against Toronto.
Yeah.
And what didn't work against Calgary doesn't necessarily mean that's what Winnipeg is going to do against Toronto. Whether that's the 3-man rush or they change things up and go a little bit more to a 4-man. Offensively, I feel Winnipeg's defense needs to be better. I feel like if there was one phase of the game that would make the biggest difference for Winnipeg's level of play, it would be for the defense to play better. But offensively, always love listening to the man with the Macho Man visor. Here is offensive coordinator Jason Hogan.
Strebler for Clercius in the end zone ends up getting intercepted. How big a play was that ultimately?
Yeah, I think that kind of takes the wind out of it. You know, we were still in a spot to turn around, and we marched down the field really well. I mean, on our doorstep with Strev, so it's kind of a heartbreaker. But at the end of the day, we just got to execute. You know, Casey's got to come out of the end zone, put us on the 1-yard line, so we could just go ahead and score on the next play.
Is it hard for guys? I feel like it's hard to come out of the end zone once you've established this is going to be a touchdown, but I'm going to give up a touchdown to make the play. I feel like there's some difficulty to that.
Yeah, and we coach anywhere on the football field. Just come back to the quarterback. You know, be quarterback friendly. Come back to the ball. We'll take 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 1 over, 1st and 10 because we just always convert it, right? So come back to the ball.
Yeah, he just has to remember he can never do that on 3rd down, or else we're all gonna.
That is correct.
He's being on the highlights forever.
That is correct.
Life, right?
Yeah.
Or get to think about.
Yeah, or get the PI and get us on 1st and 10, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Jason, one of the things you guys want to clean up for this Saturday in Toronto?
Just execution. It's the same message week to week. We got to be clean. That means taking better care of the football. Substitutions in and out of the huddle. We didn't have any issues there, but thought we could have just been cleaner overall. Assignment wise. Day one stuff like that. Just come back to the ball. I think if we do that, I think we prove with both quarterbacks we can drive efficiently down the football field. And we got to put the nail in the coffin and score. Right? Points. 6 are better than 3.
And what have you seen from Toronto's defense that you're watching on film?
I mean, they see, they execute well. I think they game plan well versus their opponent. You look at a team like Calgary who played, the same defense they played us against other opponents. I think Toronto does a great job, and that's not taking anything away from Calgary, but I think Toronto does a great job of game planning for your what you do offensively. So. Yeah.
Hey, Jason, I'm curious, has it been frustrating at all for you to maybe not lean on Brady like you probably planned to coming into this year, whether it was between the injuries, but like the last 2 games specifically, he's kind of been scripted out a little bit of the game, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I think when you're trailing, you got to throw the ball a little bit more. No frustration there. I mean, I love Brady to death. I love him like a brother. But at the end of the day, it's what's going to help this football team win, right? Whether that's 1 carry for a yard or 100-yarder, whatever it is, we just want to win, right? At the end of the day, we want to be 1-0. So no frustration there. I'd like to see him have success, but I also think, the injury, getting his legs back, getting back into it. I think we saw a difference from the previous game against Calgary. So, it's baby steps, 1 week at a time.
Just maybe going off of what Ed had asked you there, how close would you say the offense is to where you want to be?
I think it's where we want it to be. We just got to find a way to execute and finish. Again, we've driven the ball. You look at statistically, the last 2 games, we got 400 offensive yards. We just got in the end zone with points. So, you take any football game, 400 plus yards is pretty darn good, in my opinion. Again, we just got to find a way to finish and clear the mental mistakes and just keep moving forward.
That's the thing. This offense has produced yards, but they haven't gotten to the red zone as often as they need to. When they do get to the red zone, they're amongst the best in the CFL in finishing, but the turnovers are horrendous, right? Whether that's ball security, carrying the ball, whether that is interceptions from either of the quarterbacks that have thrown them this year. To me, that is MO number one. Secure the rock. Winnipeg has been very poor in that area earlier.
You know what I found very interesting about the comments by offensive coordinator HOGAN was he said that, you know what, I agree with you. You got to do whatever it takes to win the football game. But I thought that little anecdote at the end where he goes, Brady's trying to get his, he's hurt. He's trying to get his legs back. It's almost like he's not where he wants to be. And I know he says, I love him like a brother.
They are very close.
If you have a brother, a lot of times you punch the shit out of your brother. So, it doesn't mean there's love there. But, I just think that I found that a very interesting comment, to be quite honest. And I understand that you do whatever it takes, but I don't think you go away with what's got you there. This is the reigning most outstanding player in the football league, right? Yep. You know what he can do, and you just got to feed him. Now, if I'm feeding him 20 times and he's getting 1 yard at a time, all right, I'm probably going to give him 10. That's it. But that's not Brady. And like you said, Vanderpool's a big boy. They got big boys in there for Stanley Bryant. That left side averaging like 350 pounds. That's huge, man.
Yeah.
So they should be able to move people out of the way.
They're capable of playing that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. This is the first game against the East the Bombers are playing, right?
I'll just say the comment he made about Brady getting his legs under him, I don't think that's like because he was hurt and missed a couple games and he's got to get into game shape. I think that is in game, getting his legs under him, getting the wheels rolling.
Which means you have to give him more carries.
Yes, exactly. Well said.
Exactly. And I obviously told you what Willard would get mad if he doesn't get the ball.
Yeah.
So, and I've had that with all the guys I play with, all the running backs, Willie Miller, all these guys, Obi Graves, I started with in 81. But yeah.
With Moses,
I just
like to say.
With Moses, yeah. It feels weird because it's been a long time, but I'm actually looking forward. I know a lot of people are going, it's Toronto. Remember, Toronto's 0-2 at home this year.
Home and home against the Argos. Home and home.
But they need to. Toronto's in desperate too. 1-5.
And they were very close to beating the Alouettes last week. Very close.
Well, they should have beat the Alouettes, except they turned the ball over right at the end. They fumbled. I believe it was Arbuckle. Fumbled, allowed them to kick a field goal and win the game. So, or get a touchdown. I don't know how they won the game, but they won the game because of a turnover. My biggest thing is this. You got to protect that rock. And, I just think that Toronto is playing desperate. They're going to play desperate football. Because they don't want to go 0-3 at home. They're trying to attract the fan base. And Toronto's one of the hardest places to get fans to come. I don't know why, but look at 1-5. This is a Grey Cup team from last year. 1-5. 0-3 right there at home. Okay. I said 0-2. I'm wrong. 0-3.
Yeah.
Thanks for correcting me on that one. But
I didn't.
No, you did. But here's the deal. The Bombers, this is the first game against the East. They got Winton McManus back. Mr. Toothpick himself at middle linebacker, who I think is one of the best middle linebackers in the league.
Sucking his teeth.
I love the way the guy plays. I like his attitude. I love the way he's got cockiness about him. That is something you want from your defense. He reminds me of a James West, Ty Jones kind of guy. So, and then they got a guy on the right side. See Chatfield there? Jeremiah Chatfield, first year. He's leading the team in 5 sacks.
Leading the league.
Yeah. So he's going to have, I'm going to tell you what. I'll tell you, old boy, our Kendall on right tackle, and Vanderpool are going to have some work cut out for him. This is not a bad team.
Yeah. Anthony Lanier was on the injury report this week. He's good to go. Yeah.
And you know what? And I can't believe they moved him to tackle. That's a guy that always played end in Saskatchewan.
Well, hey, can I just say, Chris, the move of defensive ends to defensive tackle is an operation of teams rushing 3. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They'll put 3, pass rushers, not big defensive tackles or 1 defensive tackle and 2 ends. They'll put 3 ends. They'll put 3 edge rushers or pass rushers on the field in those second and long situations, sometimes even first down, like Winnipeg has done this year. The Bombers, I want to draw attention to this because we saw a little bit of him last week, and that is just pulling up the Bombers depth chart here. Person, number 38, joined the practice roster last year. I think he even dressed in a game late in the season, but he is a 250-pound defensive end. They'll run him with Vaughters and Jefferson. They'll run Adams with Vaughters and Jefferson. They'll run Lawson with Vaughters and Jefferson. They do all these different looks to bring a tackle in the middle, a defensive end in the middle, and a 3-man rush doesn't always, I know it's probably very, very different from your day, Chris, but
we played 3-4. Played a lot of 3-4 back then.
But what I'm saying is they'll rush 3 defensive ends, and 2 will be on one side of the line, and the other end will be all the way on the other side of the line, leaving like a center and a guard kind of on an island. Doing all types of things.
I remember we played Baltimore, the Stallions, when we were in the American League for a while. Oof. And they'd have five defensive linemen in there, and they'd put 2 outside. So the tackle had to slide all the way out to the far. The guard had to slide all the way out to the first guy until we decided, why don't we put it? So how do you fix that? You put a running back or a fullback on that outside guy. But the problem is that's a mismatch. It's smart defense, and they took advantage of it. I mean, Baltimore was good, man.
Well, that was Don Matthews, right? Don Matthews implemented the dime backer, the strong side linebacker.
I can't remember the linebacker they had. He was a player personnel in the NFL, very good football player. And he played with Baltimore.
They didn't have to do the ratio, right?
Yeah, that's everybody said.
What was it? Like when the Baltimore Stallions or the Baltimore CFLers won the Grey Cup that next year, before they moved to Montreal, I think 11 guys or 14 guys made the NFL that next year. Pretty much their entire starting defense.
They had a guy named Sharp Prodonich. Yeah, really nice guy. Great football player. I think he won most outstanding offensive lineman one year. They had a lot of great football players. Yeah, they didn't have the ratio. Would have to deal with that. I think that it was funny when you watched that Grey Cup against BC, how everybody in Canada was unified, Canada versus U.S., and obviously Louis Pasaglia with the last field goal to win the game. I mean, Don Matthews, rest in peace. Genius. You know how long it took him? Guys couldn't figure him out. He would rush 10, 11 guys and say, if you can get it off before we get to you, God bless you. And he was killing people. I mean,
and then they had Tracy Ham, who could evade the pass rush better than anybody.
Well, Tracy Ham was a stud too. Very nice man too. Yeah. I mean, we had. I remember our first game down there. We played Sacramento Gold Miners, and I can't remember the quarterback's name, but he was in the NFL and came back and played for played in the CFL for a while. Became a CBC analyst for a while. They were good, man. They were good too, but we smacked the crap out of them. There were certain teams that had good guys. I mean, Baltimore you got a CFL coach who understood the game, and he picked up Americans who just understood the game. When you think about it, Memphis, I remember going to Memphis and Dunnigan was playing, but he didn't play for Memphis. He played for, that was Damon Allen with the Mad Dogs. Yeah. Matt Dunnigan played for another team out there, and he had a pool with a bar in the middle of his pool.
Wasn't he Birmingham?
Yes, he was. Birmingham Barracudas.
Yeah. Yeah, David Archer with the San Antonio.
David Archer. That's the guy's name.
Texans. Yeah. Was it the San Antonio Texans? No, it was the Sacramento Gold Miners.
Yeah, it was the Gold Miners. I can't remember what it was.
Las Vegas Posse, of course, was where Anthony Calvillo began. While you're mentioning that, Chris, I'm going to pull up one of my favorite CFL books ever. The great Ed Willis, who we inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame just a couple years ago in the media wing, wrote this book, Endzones and Border Wars, the Era of American Expansion in the CFL. This book is freaking wild. Unbelievable, talking about the craziness that happened. Jeff Reinbold, when he was a coach in this league, like there's stories of like Americans and the casinos, the betting line guys, they didn't understand the rouge, and Reinbold doing something in a game where he like took a knee or kicked off, did a short kick, whatever it was, it screwed the line. It was like a late cover, and he had gangsters, freaking mobsters, show up at his hotel room door, threatening him, thinking he was playing with the line. Amazing story. Wow. The great Ed Tate of BlueBombers.com is quoted in this, stories of culture and football and money and ownership and craziness. You got to read this book, Endzones and Border Wars.
Where is it available? I'd like to buy one of these. Seriously.
You can get it. I encourage people to get it at their local bookstore, but you can find it online.
Is it on Amazon at all? Or?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, I'll give you my.
I really encourage people, go to like Chapters or McNally Robinson. That's where, especially, I remember Ed Willis telling me he gets more of a cut as the author when you don't buy it on Amazon. Typical, right? Amazon charging a little bit more. Yeah. But your local bookstore will carry this book. They'll bring it in. It's worth it. Awesome book. My absolute favorite.
It's weird you say that too, DB? Because Johnny Hodge called me 2 years ago, and Johnny Hodge wanted me to do a book.
Yes.
And we started it, and then I just kind of backed away.
You and I talked about that, yeah.
Maybe one day I'll go back with it, because it's just too many stories, and it's I always believed in you got to tell all, right? You can't sugarcoat it. Because I remember the best book I ever read was by the Snake, the quarterback in the Oakland Raiders. You know who I'm talking about? Lefty, southpaw. Played for Oakland Raiders. Snake. Come on, call him Snake.
Start with a V?
No, I can't remember. Anyway, they call him a Snake. Anyway, he wrote a book. He named names. And he got people divorced because he named names of guys going out to these, the clubs and hooking up with the women. And it was crazy.
Yeah.
But that's a book. I got to remember what it's called, because I think it's called The Snake. It is so good, man.
Interesting.
Even
if you don't have a book.
Join us weekly. Hey, DB, join us weekly for our book club review.
There you go. Well, but that's what I was going to say is Bonfire, and having you here, Chris, every single week is like a book. It is it's an audio history of your life and your time, right?
Yeah. Well, we've had good times, I'll tell you.
Kenny Stabler?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah, it is Kenny Stabler, I think. Yeah. I think Donnie Boy's right. I think it was Kenny Stabler, the Snake. He wrote a book and caused all kinds of problems, man. I gotta tell you, like, some of the stuff, like, I love, what the biggest thing is, I'm kind of just waxing off, sorry. Going off on stories on going to Baltimore, walking in that locker room, in the hallowed locker room where Johnny Unitas played. It is the coolest. When you pull up to that stadium, you're like, wow. Because, as a kid, you watched that, eh?
Super Bowl III.
You know who Johnny, whoever is there, eh? That was probably the biggest thrill for me. Just going into that place where there was just a bowl. It was a huge stadium. And the history behind it, it was like an honor to even be in that place, right?
Was it like the Iron Bowl or something like that? What was it called? Yeah.
I don't know what he called it. But all I know is that it was pretty cool, man. Yeah. It's one of those things we kind of like. And the other one I liked was in Shreveport. And we went to Shreveport. I think I told you, maybe not. Sorry, the fly on my screen. We got me, Stan, Miles Gurrell, and Dave Black never took the bus, right?
There's 4 dudes I wouldn't want to run into in a dark alley.
So we take. I could tell a couple of stories, but anyway, we drive down Birmingham. I'll tell you that. Anyway, I don't want to get caught, but anyway, we go to Shreveport and we always go and stop off at the liquor store. We're going to buy stuff because we're chartering, right? So we're going to have a few pops on the way home. We walk into this little bar. It's all got bars everywhere, and we walk in, and all of a sudden, everybody in this little bar, or not bar, but store, stops. They're all black.
Yeah.
They look over and go, excuse me, fellas. 4 big white guys walk in, hey?
Yeah.
You fellas ain't around here.
Huge white guys. Huge.
You ain't around here, are you, fellas? You're not from around here.
You're in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Miles goes, no, we from Canada. Well, come on in.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it was phenomenal. And then I'll tell you one more story, real quick one. We're in Birmingham. We always take the ride to the game before, but we don't go to the liquor store this time. The guy says to us, 4 big white guys, he goes, you guys want to come to a rally? What for? Pulls a gun out. He was KKK.
You're kidding me.
We're like, no, just drop us off at the stadium, man. Yeah. Well, I got a million stories. I don't like to tell, but I think I'll tell a couple there today. That's good.
Well,
anyway,
I'm not surprised that those guys in Louisiana reacted the way they did when they found out you were from Canada, because Louisiana French, right? The Cajuns are Arcadians, right? Those were Canadians, essentially. That's why they speak French down there. Those were French settlers back in the old Upper Canada, Lower Canada days with Acadia. Man, Chris,
we went to Louisiana. I'm dragging. I don't care. We went to Louisiana. Me and Matt Dunnigan, Pinball Clemens, and one of the big receivers from Toronto at the time. His name escapes me right now. And we're just promoting the game before the expansion to the States. And so we go to Shreveport. Well, Louisiana, remember, Matt Dunnigan played at Louisiana Tech. He is such a big name out there. And I was like blown away. So we go to this place. It's a bar, and it's just screened in. There's no windows. It's all screens. And we order, and they have a big picnic table, a big hole in the middle with a garbage can underneath. And it's crawdad.
Oh, yeah.
Want some crawdad?
Yeah.
So I learned how to suck. They call it sucking the head. I'm not making a joke.
Yeah.
This one guy says, excuse me. He looks over and sees Matt and goes, are you who I think you are? And Matt goes, I don't know who you think I am. But Matt still has that accent, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, are you Matt Dunnigan? And Matt goes, yeah. And this guy was he looked like an oil rigger. I thought, he's either going to kill Matt or hug him. He started getting all emotional. He loved Matt. Matt, God bless him, took off his hat, signed it, and gave it to him. Hero. Unbelievable story. This bar stayed open till 3 a.m. with us.
For Matt Dunnigan.
They did not want us to go. I had a license plate still from them. They all signed it. I have it on my bar or my back shed. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Anyway, yeah, it's good time.
Legendary stuff. Well, that's like Danny McManus when he goes to Tallahassee, Florida, and Florida State University. Like, he's maybe the most famous guy in that entire panhandle, Florida panhandle. Like, it's incredible. We don't realize that up here in Canada, that the legendary I don't know, cachet that a lot of these guys carry. That's awesome. Chris, maybe we should do a cold ones. We'll call it cold ones with Chris Walby on the bye weeks, and we'll get some of your stories. We'll get you a biography, a biographical audio there.
I wish I had.
You got a moose?
I would like to say this. I'm drinking a beer right now, but Trans-Canada, if you're watching, you guys have phenomenal beer. Come on board. Get involved with the show, boys.
Yeah.
We'll push your beer all the time. It's great beer. You know, I like that blueberry stuff. I love it, man. So that's just a little hit there.
Yeah. You can reach like 30,000 people a month. At least.
Amen.
Like 30,000 different people, unique viewers. Anybody out there who wants to partner with us here on Bonfire Sports, send me an email. db@bonfiresports.ca, advertise at bonfiresports.ca. I don't even think it matters. I'll get the email. But you can also text the Bonfire hotline or call 204-816-TIPS, 816-8477. Standard rates apply, just like when you're texting your mama. But yeah, pregame, postgame, we can bring our audience to your business. So let's partner up. Would love that.
Yeah, I like it, man.
Okay. Chris, I have no doubt there's other breweries in Winnipeg that would want you to try their offerings. So I'm looking forward to that possibility as well, whether it's TCB or otherwise. But no doubt, the only thing that goes down cold and smooth every single week here, as much as a cold one, are your 3 keys to the game. What needs to happen for the Bombers to kick this 2-game skid and get back on the winning track in the Big Smoke?
Well, for me, it's, you're going against a team in Toronto who's allowed the most touchdowns this year. So, but I still think it's Brady, it's Matt, whatever it's Peterson. I don't care. Run the football, establish a run. I think the biggest thing, though, really is protecting that football. Obviously, 10 turnovers in the last 2 weeks is not going to do it. And, you just stay with what works for you. Don't reinvent the wheel. If it's pounding the ball works, great. If you have to throw the ball, make sure it's a smart throw. Utilize your receivers. Get all of them involved. Spread the ball around. On defense, you got to get off the field. And it's simple. Eliminate the big explosion plays. Way too many. And then on special teams, hey, you know what? Continue. Sergio Castillo, I'm going to call him Superman. Man, I tell you what, 12 of 13 this year, 58-yarder last week. He's 3 for 3 over 50. He's the man. I tell you, him and that kid from Montreal, they can kick the pig right off that skin. So, or I guess the cow off that skin now. As I found out today, it was cow skin, not pig skin. So
that's right.
Anyway, that's my keys, brother.
Love it. Chris Walby, you are a treasure. I know you know that. You don't like it when I say it publicly, and you throw all types of crap back at me when I say it privately when it's just you and me on the phone. But it's true. You are. And so lucky to have you here on GameDay Winnipeg on Bonfire Sports. We're going to do it again next week ahead of the Bombers home game. It's country night at Princess Auto Stadium. There's less than 1,000 tickets, I think, remaining for that game. But of course, you don't, Chris, you don't want to miss. You, Chris Walby, don't want to miss Game Day After Dark, our live postgame show immediately following Bombers Argos on Saturday.
Yeah, you guys do a great job. You do a bang-up show at the end. But, I'm just happy to provide my little input in the beginning of the game and have some fun with you guys. I'm at the lake. I'm with my wife and my son's here, 3 dogs. We're having a great time. It's 31. Come on, how do you beat it? 31 degrees.
Can't beat it.
Here, the sun burned all the hair off my head. That's not good, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Big thanks to hey? Go ahead.
Big thanks to Sasha, who sent you a $20 super chat, Chris, for a couple beers.
Not again, Sasha! People are going to start thinking we're going out, my dear. Anyway, I just want to say this. Hey, thank you, Sasha. God bless you, man. But here's the other thing. Bombers by 8 tomorrow.
Love it. I love it. Have a great weekend, Chris. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you and everybody else on Game Day After Dark, our postgame show after Bombers Argos on Saturday. Have a great one, everybody. Thanks for joining us in the live chat, and we'll see you next time on Game Day Winnipeg here on Bonfire Sports.
Amen. Go.